Hey everyone, this is Joe with Southeastern Frontiers, and today I am backpacking a portion of the Pinhoti Trail. We're hiking from the Turnip Seed Campground, and tonight we're going to stay up at McDill Point, and then tomorrow we're going to continue on and stay at Hillabee Creek, and then finally on the last day we'll hike back out to Highway 24 at Morgan Lake. So today, hiking with me are John and Jacob. For this backpacking trip, Jonathan, Jacob, and I started at the Turnip Seed Campground in the Talladega National Forest and hiked up the Chinnabee Silent Trail to the intersection with the Pinhoti Trail in the Cheaha Wilderness. From there, we hiked north along the Pinhoti with many expansive views until we reached our campsite at McDill Point. McDill Point's a beautiful viewpoint that includes a large campsite. This is where we spent our first night. On day 2, we continued hiking north on the Pinhoti over Hernandez Peak and around the sides of Mount Cheaha, the highest mountain in Alabama. We stopped for lunch at the interesting Blue Mountain Shelter. This shelter is a great place to rest a bit before we continued on down the long downhill off the ridge and into a series of low creek valleys and hills. After a number of pointless ups and downs, we finally reached our campsite for the second night at the lovely Hillabee Creek. Hillabee is a Muskogee word for quick or swift, and indeed, the first thing on day 3 is we had to cross the swift waters of Hillabee Creek. That was cold on feet. Our final hike out consisted mostly of a series of smallish ups and downs as we cut across this hill and creek area until we finally reached County Highway 24 and our final destination at Morgan Falls and Morgan Lake. We are at the Turnip Seed Campground in the parking area here, and we are about to head off onto the trail. Here's our first water crossing.
That'd be brave.
Should be the only one today.
You got it.
Hey, made it across. All right, we're going up the Chinnabee Silent Trail, and I think it's all uphill from here. Love how the water's just coming out of the rocks here. Very nice.
Mountain footage.
Very cool. All right, we are still climbing up the side of the mountain here. You can see the trail has become quite a bit rockier. It's just a steady climb, but we have gained some altitude. You can see out across the valley there a little bit. This gets really steep here at the end. Whew. It's a climb. Welcome to the Talladega Ridge. Whew. That was our 985-foot climb for the day. Got our Stairmaster in. And here's the famous sign. It says the Pinhoti Trail. Adams Gap is that way. Let's see, around on this side, it says the Odom Scout Trail is that way. The Pinhoti Trail to Cheaha State Park is that way, and that's the way we're gonna go. And we just came up the Chinnabee Silent Trail from Turnip Seed. So we were gonna go over here just a little bit to the creek and fill up on our water. So it was quite the climb. But we're here, so the rest of it's easy going today. The logistics of water on the Talladega Ridge for backpacking takes some forethought. There are not a lot of streams, so like for the rest of the day, including where we're camping tonight, there won't be any water. So we have to fill up our water supply here, and we're even filling up gallon jugs of water to cook with tonight because we just aren't going to see any more. It's something you have to think about when you're hiking the Pinhoti Trail, because there are long segments of it that are completely dry. All right, we are all watered up and gonna head northbound here on the Pinhoti Trail. Ooh, a little muddy through here by the creek. That's quite the view out there through the trees.
Oxygen's getting thin up here on the mountain.
We are basically at the top of the ridge. Up there is the top of the ridge. We're just following northbound on the Pinhoti Trail. It's rocky. You gotta watch your footing, but there's not much elevation gain anymore. So we're plodding along here.
Just keeping your eyes on the ground.
Yeah, you keep your head down. I was telling Jacob this is like, you know, walking rocks over a stream, but continuously, so you don't twist your ankle. Woo! Getting pretty. Look at that. Should be many more views to come. That's a cliff, all right. Woo!
I'm just gonna sit down here.
Yeah.
Woohoo! There goes my hat. Luckily it's tied on.
You're done. You can
Oh,
see camp.
there's where we're camping tonight. Over there, where the rock ledges are.
See the rock ledges?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, right there.
Right above it, yep.
See Turnip Seed. It's probably down in here somewhere.
Yeah, it is. There's a fire way in the distance.
Stairway to Heaven is right there.
Yep,
And then way past, just where we can't see is Adams. Yeah.
yep. This trail's rocky. Wow. And if I remember right, it's like this all the way till we make the big U-turn up here to go out to McDill Point. So hard on feet. Gotta watch where the trail goes too. It probably doesn't look too obvious to you where it is. Just put straight ahead there. This is the intersection with the Cave Creek Trail. Jacob and I have hiked the Cave Creek Loop and have come down this way before. So now we're back on that same track. So I'll put a link to that video down in the description so you can go watch us do that loop. All right, we are just exiting the Cheaha Wilderness. We are now just in the Talladega National Forest, and we're about to go around a curve up here and head back out to McDill Point, which is now way back there on the other side of the valley. So we're making good time. We got a couple hours of daylight yet at least. So no, this is great. And it's not as rocky over here, so we've been moving along at a faster pace. So at the head of this valley, there's a little campsite here, but it's a swamp. It is wet. I don't know why anyone would camp here. At least maybe not this time of year. Maybe in the fall it's nice. But you know, there's a trickle of water here, and it's just kind of sloppy. There's not really enough water here to filter, just mud puddles. So, all right, we have come as far as the Pinhoti Trail comes down McDill Point. And so at this point, we're gonna break off and go down a side trail to get to the actual viewpoint. But there's some campsites up here, and there's a piece of the airplane up here. There's more of the airplane further ahead. The Pinhoti Trail here goes off in that direction and loops back around and heads back towards Cheaha State Park, which is off that way. But we're going to go this way to the McDill Overlook, and we're going to camp down near there if we can. So we're going off this way. Here is the airplane that is famously crashed on the ridge up here at McDill Point. So this is just right off the trail down to the viewpoint. It's in pretty rough shape. More of it over there. All right, we have arrived at our campsite. It is a large campsite here with a couple of fire rings. There's some rocks and some logs. Very nice. All right, let's find a place to set up our tents. All right, we are all set up here. Got our tents here, and it's supposed to be unseasonably cold tonight, maybe as low as 20 degrees. So I've got my my quilt and an old sleeping bag both. I want to make sure I'm not going to get cold, so got that in here all fluffing up. So that's ready to go, and the boys are gathering firewood. So we're going to get a fire going tonight, but before we do that, we're going to go down and check out the view, which is not very far away. So there are two viewpoints, one to the right, which is technically the better viewpoint, I think, especially for sunset. There's also one to the left. We'll check them both out. Woo!
Weren't we like there?
Yes, we were there along the ridge. Yeah, we this morning hiked up basically, yeah, where there's a little bump in the hill over there. We were just this side of it, and then we hiked all along the ridge here. And around the corner back there, and then back down to this point.
Come down here.
Oh, look, Jacob.
Yeah, it's quite the view over there.
You be scaring Mom, that's all I have to say.
This is what I ran to the last time to try to get the sunset, but it wasn't even the sunset. Oh yeah.
Woo! This is epic. Woo! Wow. Been here before and it's still stunning. Holy cow. Look at that. Jeez, it's like the edge of the world.
Right up to the sunset.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful sunset. And there's not much wind here either, which is nice. All right, we're going to have to do like we did last time, Jacob. We got to cook dinner down here.
Yeah, when's sunset?
About 7 o'clock is sunset.
You gonna pull this stuff out of your bag?
Sure. Cheese, pesto sauce, mushrooms.
My lunch tomorrow is like probably the heaviest meal in the bag.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's because I just put so much.
We'll need that first, I
Yeah,
assume.
he put like an insane. Like, did you see how big his thing of peanut butter?
Oh, Lord.
Enough for like 3
All
days.
of it. He's got enough there for all of us.
Yeah, I do.
To be fair, I did put a lot too.
See?
But
Yep.
Strainer.
Yep. The lid has the strainer. If we need it.
oh, fancy! You put olive oil in it, huh?
I don't know. Did you?
Wait, what?
Or did you just leave?
I made it.
Right. Something leak?
No.
Your pesto guy?
Oh yeah, I bet the like oil from the pesto like somehow leaked.
Leaked out.
I mean, it doesn't.
Yep, it did.
Yeah.
It's not sealed.
Yeah.
Doesn't change.
Nope.
Yeah.
So we're having homemade pesto tonight, huh?
Yep.
How do we make it?
You boil noodles first, I gather.
Just that alone is such a pretty.
It is. It's gorgeous. Yep.
Just spectacular. As I told Jacob the last time we were here, there's no better dinner with a view in all of Alabama. This is something else. All right, John, what do you think of the pesto?
Very good.
Yep, all the cheese needed is good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Very good stuff. Awesome. We are getting close to sunset now. Jacob is still cooking more noodles. Getting close.
There it goes.
And it's gone. That was sunset, folks. Very nice. Starting to get dark. Jacob's sitting here cooking up the last batch of the noodles. I don't know if you can see this on the video, but there are city lights in the distance. Not exactly sure what towns they are. I know Talladega's out there. There are others. I hear coyotes howling in the valley. All right, John got us a nice fire going, which is very welcome. Thank you, John. Jacob and I finished up cooking our dinner down there and by the viewpoint, and now we came back up here to warm up by the fire. It is lovely. It is day 2 of our hiking backpacking trip along the Pinhoti Trail today. So we are just about packed up. Got our tents all packed up and just finishing up here. Gonna head out. All right, we are all packed up and about to head out. It was a cold night last night, but probably not as cold as we imagined it was gonna be. Maybe right at freezing, not too bad. We were protected from the wind by the nice row of brush right behind us here, so that was very nice. We could hear it roaring in the trees above us. But time to head out. So we are now today headed from McDill Point to Mount Cheaha State Park, and then we'll continue on from there. Catch up with you in a bit. We are passing by the airplane wreck we looked at yesterday. It's right over there. Beautiful morning, clear skies. Should be nice today, maybe as high as 60 degrees. All right, we have returned to the Pinhoti Trail. Blue blaze, sign says State Park is 3 miles. Holy cow. Good morning. Look at that. Woo!
Saturday view for 9 a.m.
Very nice. Thanks to all the trees being blown down right here, there's amazing views right along the trail. All right, we've been climbing up Hernandez Peak here. It's our big climb for the day. Not that big of a climb, but a couple hundred feet. We're heading up there to the summit. And then we'll go, it's pretty much all downhill after that with just a few ups and downs. The plaque says the Cheaha Wilderness, established January 3rd, 1983. Dedicated to the Honorable Bill Nichols. Whew. That was a climb. We are pretty much at the top now. All right, we have summited Hernandez Peak. What's the altitude, Jacob?
2,335.
2,335 feet. And Cheaha is about 2,800, right?
Yep, that's right.
Yep. We're not going to go to the top of Cheaha today, just around the side of it. But Jacob and Thomas have done that.
Check that section out if you'd like.
Yeah, you can check that video out. I'll put a link down in the description. At least I'll try to remember to. All right, we have come around Hernandez Peak here, and we're about to descend down steeply through this little notch in the rocks here. It's easy to miss. Some people get lost here and try to go off to the right, and there isn't really a way. In the distance, you can see Mount Cheaha with the lookout tower up on top. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. It's through the trees. This is really steep down here. Woo! It's a distinctive feature. You don't forget it. There's a little stream crossing here. That's nice. Pinhoti Trail, north. Off this way. Here is the Pinhoti Trail dedication sign. Very nice. It's a great viewpoint here. A little bit of a campsite here too. That's actually looking very nice. Last time I was here, it was pretty overgrown.
That was where we camped, right?
So the big peak right in front of you there, that's Hernandez Peak that we just summited. The next peak we didn't really go over. I think we went beside it out to McDill Point, around the edge of it. But awesome view out into the valley again. Woo! You can see Cheaha Lake down here.
That would be a OG shortcut.
And Mount Cheaha is right back there. I just can't quite see it from here. It's back there. We stopped and had a nice little lunch, or not lunch, but a snack break here. Some water and enjoyed the view. And we're packing back up and gonna head back on down the trail. We have come to the intersection with the Cave Creek Trail. So if you head down that way, it'll take you down to the parking lot, the hiker's parking lot that's down there. But we're going to continue on the Pinhoti Trail off to the left. And we are now venturing into territory that I've not been to, but Jacob has.
Well, pretty soon we'll be off what I've done.
Yeah.
In like 100 yards. If we meet all of us. Hot shower.
Cheaha State Park, yeah. 0.15 miles. Hot Showers Motel Restaurant, camp store, up there.
I'm gonna tell you, it's a steep path up there.
It looks it. The Pinhoti Trail, on the other hand, just continues straight ahead and crosses over the highway here. Yep, none of us have been on this segment now. New territory for a little while.
Steep stairs.
It's a good thing there are stairs. Can you imagine the rut that would have rode in this?
Yeah.
All right, look both ways before crossing the highway. It says the Pinhoti Trail, Blue Mountain Shelter is 2 miles. And the Oxford Cheaha Road, which is actually where we're going at the end of this, I think is 5 miles. All right, off we go. Down more stairs. Notice some very pretty flowers. Been seeing a lot of these. I think we'll see a lot more. Very nice little creek crossing here. Oh, the creek crossing's in 2 parts. Got another part over here. They join together right down there. It's very cute. Very mountain stream-esque. Esque.
It all just joins down the hill.
Yeah, it all joins right down there. There's so many pretty water features along here. Check this waterfall out. Very nice. Wow, look at how pretty this flower is. Very nice. Just a couple more right up here if I can keep from falling down the mountain here. A bit of a steep bit right here. All right, I lied. There's a serious uphill on this part. Woo! Up and up we go. Oh man. We're trucking now. Won't be too long when we get to the Blue Mountain Shelter. And that's where we're gonna stop for lunch. This is a trail segment that was made by people who believe the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Man, this could have used some switchbacks. But we're climbing. The views are getting nice again out through the trees. Still got a ways to go. All right, we are almost to the Blue Mountain Shelter. But we stopped here to refill our water bottles at this nice stream. So we're filtering water today using a Sawyer squeeze. It's not real speedy, but it gets the job done. Very pretty little stream here. sign says Blue Mountain Shelter. Is that a way? Well, that's where we're gonna have lunch today. So we're gonna head down there and check it out. Coming up on the Blue Mountain Shelter here. Very cool. It's got an upper deck. Look at that. Pegs to hang your bags from. There's an upper deck up there. Lower deck down here. Maps and some empty water bottles. Yeah, an honest to goodness picnic bench too. That's nice. Well, this is going to be our lunch spot then. Very nice. All right, after a nice day and lunch here at the Blue Mountain Shelter, we are going to head back up the trail. Off we go. Back at the Pinhoti Trail, following the blue blaze. Heading downhill. It really should be mostly downhill from now. Of course, I said that hours ago. So, we will see.
No more than 50 feet up. Doing that.
Whew, nice view to the south here. First time we've seen off in this direction. Or maybe southeast. Or maybe east. I don't know. I'm not looking at my compass.
Southeast.
Southeast? Yeah. Very cool. We're about to go over a ridge here. And then we descend down the other side. All the way to the bottom. So, still climbing a little bit. We've come to the intersection with the Bald Rock Trail. So it's a half mile that way to literally the top of Mount Cheaha. Very, very steep. It says it's a half mile. I bet it's further than that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because it joins something else before it gets up there. But anyway, that way's the way to the top of Mount Cheaha. Blue Mountain Shelter's behind us. We're gonna go off this way. I like how in Blue Mountain Shelter it says 1 mile and somebody's put a /4 because it's actually about a quarter of a mile. It's not very far. All right, we're back on trail that Jacob knows. He and Thomas came down from Mount Cheaha there and went this way and missed Blue Mountain Shelter the last time they did this. Well, through the trees back there, you can make out Mount Cheaha. We dodged around it, down valleys and up the sides, but we skipped it anyway. This has been a much more pleasant trail since we topped the ridge. Mostly downhill now, very nice. And not near as rocky as it was. Some new wildflowers. These are a little different than what we've seen. Oh, look at them on the little mound there. Very pretty. So white. Pretty. Down, down, down we go. There's a really pretty dogwood tree, all with its white flowers. Very nice. Spring has sprung. We're still going downhill. It's kind of endless downhill, which is better than endless uphill, I suppose. I guess if you were going southbound, it would be endless uphill. What does this sign say? This sign says Pinhoti Trail to the Blue Mountain Shelter, and the state park is in 5 miles. I think the shelter is 3. It was kind of hard to read. And this sign says Pinhoti Trail is straight ahead. County Road 24 is 8 miles. That's where we're exiting tomorrow. Man, that seems like a long way. That'll be fine. What it didn't tell us, which would have been useful, is how far it is to our campsite that we're planning on staying at tonight, but we'll get there when we get there. We just crossed an old Forest Service road here. Goes off that way. Somebody's been clearing the logs, so someone drives it once in a while. But this poor old Pinhoti Trail sign has seen better days. It's had a few, looks like shotguns fired at it. All the little BB holes. All right, continuing on. We're just hiking along the edge of a really pretty valley here. Much of this section of the trail is like this. So many wildflowers along this bank. It's beautiful. So pretty. The wildflowers along here are just amazing. I was telling Jacob that nature has rolled out the carpet for us along here. There's flowers lining the trail. Often the trail is just solid moss, and so you're literally walking on a carpet. It's pretty cool. We are crossing the creek here. And though there is a campsite here, this is not the campsite we're staying at tonight. Right here, a couple of fire rings. So we got to go a little bit further. There's a nice new Pinhoti sign. Look at that. Cool. Yeah, another little creek crossing here. Since we crossed the creek back there at that little campsite, we've basically been following this creek now for about a mile. Very pretty. Trail's pretty flat here. Narrow, but a few little ups and downs, but not too bad. Lots of downed trees, but somebody's cleared them all, so that's been lovely. This valley is so pretty. This trail's been a little narrow for a bit here. All right, got to cross this creek. Trail goes on the other side. Got to figure out the best way across. Maybe on these rocks over here. Well, we think we've summited our last climb. We hear water running down in the valley. I think our campsite is down at the bottom of this valley. So we have a steep descent down to the campsite. We're getting tired. Got a lot of miles on our feet and we're not used to it. So, at least I'm not. So, my feet are hurting. All right. This time we swear this is our last summit. Man, there's been a bunch of them. We thought there were 2, there's more like 4. Oh, they suck. Especially when it's at the end of the day, you just want to be in camp. So now I think we go down the valley, we'll try this again. Glory be, we have arrived. Jonathan went ahead to start getting camp set up. Oh man, that last stretch was a real bear. The rest of it was so nice and downhill, but this last bit with the ups and downs did me in. Well, before it gets dark, because down in this hollow, it's already sunset. But before it gets dark, I thought I'd show you around camp. So we've got our tents set up, or mostly set up. The boys are still working out there. We're getting ready to cook dinner here. There's some firewood gathered so we can have a fire. And it's a nice, spacious campsite. You could put quite a few people here. And it's right beside the creek. This is Hillabee Creek. So the very first thing we have to do tomorrow morning is cross the creek. Unfortunately, my last GoPro battery died, so that was it for that one. All right, we got the fire going, at least started. Jacob got that going for us. Meanwhile, Jonathan and I are cooking our dinner. So tonight I am having lasagna with meat sauce, and Jonathan is having
Chicken pad thai.
chicken pad thai. All right. The wood's a little wet tonight, so we're having a hard time getting a big fire going. Lots of charcoal, though. We could really roast marshmallows if we had them. Now Jacob's got a fire. Now that's a fire. Oh, that feels lovely. Woo! Oh, so nice. We are heating up some water to put in our Nalgene's to keep us warm tonight. The fire is just smoldering coals right now. It's sure still nice and warm though. Good morning. It is day 3 of our backpacking trip, and we are just getting up this morning, getting our gear packed up. Gonna cook breakfast soon and be on our way. So right over here is the Hillabee Creek, and the only downside to this lovely campsite is that the very first thing we have to do this morning after eating breakfast and getting packed up is we have to cross Hillabee Creek. That's going to be cold, cold, cold. So we'll see how that goes. Gonna have wet feet. We haven't found any place where you can cross dry. There are some shallower spots, but still too deep for our boots. There goes Jacob across. With boots on, just go, just go.
I was worried about the far side, but there's rocks. So yeah.
All right, it's my turn. Gonna turn this off because I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. Okay, we've got our shoes back on. Feet dried off, shoes on. Just noticed the pretty little violets right here in the morning sunlight. But it's time to pick up our bags and head down the trail. All right, we are about to say goodbye to Hillabee Creek here. It was a lovely campsite. The water got us all woke up this morning. John's just getting his shoes tied up here, and we will be on our way down the trail. Okay, we're starting off with a climb today. You can see the trail down the other end of the little valley here. But I just noticed the pretty redbud trees. The eastern redbuds are starting to bloom. Yeah, very pretty. There's one right there. Lovely trees of spring. The redbuds and the dogwoods. Always great to see them. Nature's rolling out the carpet for us again. We have moss path we're walking up. Very cool. All right, we stopped to shed some layers at the top of our first little summit here. We got a really big one coming up in front of us, so it's going to take some climbing. One thing I haven't been filming as we've been going through these valleys are all the trillium, which are just starting to bloom. See the 3 leaves, the 3 flower petals, the 3 petals that cover the flower. 3, 3, 3. That's 3 threes, or trillium. There's a lot of it down in these valleys. Crossing a lovely little creek here. And right past it is a campsite. Wow, it's beautiful. Has chairs. Very nice. What a beautiful campsite this would be. All right, Jacob tells me this is the steepest part today. As he said, it's unnecessarily steep. So we'll find out. Off we go. All right, we have summited our highest point for today. It was about a 200-foot climb from the valley. And now we're gonna go mostly down, just a couple little ups. So off we go. Down, down, down we go. We're following obviously an old Forest Service road or logging road or something, but been a long downhill. There's a shaft we noticed right off the trail here. We're wondering if it's a well or a mine shaft. It doesn't look like a natural sinkhole. Weird. Woo, here's the downhill. It's quite the valley. You can hear water running down there. All right, we've made it down to that creek I heard up on top of the hill. Wow, that was a steep downhill. Pretty little creek. All right. Jacob says he thinks this is our last climb for the day. So we'll see how it goes. We think we've summited the last major hill. So it should be downhill to the road. I can hear cars on the road, so we're pretty close. It's warming up today. Considering how cold it's been the last couple nights, it's kind of surprising how hot it is now. I don't know what the temperature is. It's probably in the mid 60s only, but feels warm compared to what we've been going through. All right, there's the highway. We're almost back. Just got to cross the highway and go over to where we parked our car at Morgan Lake. All right, we're crossing the road. The car doesn't run us over. All right, our last segment of the Pinhoti Trail. After crossing the highway, you descend down, cross the stream down here. Nice stream crossing. Now there's a little bit of an uphill as we climb up to the level of Morgan Lake that's coming up here. We've come to the point where the Pinhoti Trail heads off that way, but we're going to go this way to Lake Morgan and the waterfall. The sign says you are here. Pinhoti goes off the bottom of this map. Parking lot and the lake are ahead. All right, we are almost back to the parking area. However, one last surprise. A beautiful waterfall right here at the end of our trip. Spectacular. Morgan Falls. All right, up to the parking lot. All right, we're above the falls, and here's Morgan Lake. We just got the car right over there, so just gotta walk over the dam. All right, that was our 2-night backpacking trip along the Pinhoti Trail. It was a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time.